three of them got everything ready, and sometime midway through the assembly line process, they developed. Claire putting meat into taco shells, Eve adding toppings, Shane putting beans onto the plates. A fourth pair of hands added itself to the line. Michael looked as if he'd just gotten up and showered, wet hair, sleepy eyes. Beads of water still sliding down to soak the collar of his black knit skirt. Like Shane, he was wearing jeans, but he'd gone formal, with actual shoes. "Hey," he greeted them. "This looks good." Claire did it. Claire did it. Eve jumped in as Shane opened his mouth. "Don't even let Shane take the credit." "Wasn't going to." Shane looked offended. "Right. I chopped. What did you do?" "Cleaned up after you, like always." Michael looked over at Claire and made a face. She laughed and picked up her plate. Michael picked up his and followed her into the living room. Someone, Michael, she guessed, had cleared the big wood table next to the bookcase and set up 4 chairs around it. The stuff that had been piled there, video game cases, books, sheet music, had been dumped in other places with a cheerful disregard for order. Maybe she admitted that had been Shane's idea. She set her blade down, and Eve promptly slapped her own down next to Claire's, and slid a cold Coke across to her, along with a fork and napkin. Michael and Shane strolled back in, took seats, and began shoveling in food like boys, even nibbled. Claire, who was surprisingly hungry, found herself on her second taco before Eve had gotten through her first. She was already headed back for more. "Hey, dude," he said as he returned with a reloaded plate. "When are you going to get a gig again?" Michael stopped chewing, flashed a look at Eve, then Claire, and then finished the bite before saying, "When I'm ready, pussy." Pussy. "You had a bad night, Mike. Get back on the horse or whatever." Eve frowned at Shane and shook her head. Shane ignored her. "Seriously, man, you can't let them get you down." "I'm not," Michael said. "Not even everything is about beating your head against the wall until it breaks." "Just most things," Shane said. "Whatever. You let me know when you want to start hermiting." I'm not hermiting. I'm practicing." "Like you don't play good enough, please." "I get no respect," Michael said. Shane, busy taking another crunchy bite, rubbed his thumb and forefinger together. "Yeah, I know. World's smallest violin player, just for me." Change the subject. "How was that hot day with Lisa, anyway?" "Running shoes turn her on or what?" "It's Laura," Shane said. "Yeah, she was hot, all right, but I think she had the hots for you. Kept saying how she saw you over at the Waterhouse last year, and you were all like, 'Wow, amazing.' It was like menage a trois. Only you weren't there. Thank God." Michael looked smart. "Shut up and eat." Shane shot him the finger. All in all, it was a pretty good time. Michael and Eve washed dishes, having lost out on the coin toss, and Claire hovered in the living room, not sure what she wanted to do. Studying sounded boring, which surprised her. Shane was concentrating on the video game selection, bare feet propped up on the coffee table. Without looking directly at Claire, he asked, "You want to see something cool?" "Sure," she said. She expected him to put on a game, but he dumped it back in the pile, got up off the couch, and padded up the stairs. She stood at the bottom, staring up, wondering what to do. Shane appeared at the top of the stairs again, gestured, and she followed. The second floor was quiet, of course, and dimly lit. She blinked and saw Shane already halfway down the hall. Was he heading for her room? Not that she didn't have a crazy hot picture in her head of sitting on the bed with him making out, and she had no idea why that popped in her head, except that. Well, he was just, yeah. Shane moved aside a picture hanging on the wall between her and Eve's room, and pressed a button underneath. And a door opened on the other side of the wall. It was built into the paneling, and she'd never have ever known it was there. She gasped, and Shane beamed like he'd invented the wheel. "Cool, huh? This damn house is full of crap like that. Trust me." "Fuck. Cool, huh? This damn house is full of crap like that. Trust me. In Morganville, it pays to be up on the hiding places." He pushed open the door, revealed another set of stairs, and padded up them. She expected them to be dusty, but they weren't. The wood was clean and polished. Shane's feet left prints of the ball of his foot and his toes. It was narrow pitch of just high 8 steps. Half a story, really. And there was another door on the top. Shane opened it and flipped on a switch just inside. First time I saw this, and the room back of the pantry, I figured, yep, vampire house. What do you think? If she believed in vampires, it might have been right. It was a small room, no windows, and it was old. It wasn't just the stuff in it, which was antique and dark. It had this sense of something ancient, something not quite right. And it was cold. Cold in the middle of a Texas heat wave. Shivered. Does everybody know about this room? Oh yeah. Eve says it's haunted. Can't really blame her. It creeps me the hell out too. Cool though. We'd have stuck you in here when the cops came. Only they'd have seen you through the windows coming out of the kitchen. They're nosy bastards. Shane wandered across the thick Persian carpet to flop on the dark red Victorian couch. Dust rose in a cloud, and when he waved it off, coughing. So what do you think? Think Michael sleeps off his evil undead days in here or what? What? Oh, come on. You think he's one of them, right? Because he doesn't show up during the day? I don't think anything. Shane nodded. Eve downcast. Right. You weren't sent here. Sent? Sent by who? I got to thinking. The cops were looking for you, but maybe they were looking for you to make us want to keep you here, instead of pitch you out. So which is it? Are you working for them? Them? She echoed thinly. Them who? Shane suddenly looked at her, and she shivered again. It wasn't like Monica. Not at all. But he wasn't playing around either. Shane, I don't know what you mean. I came to Morganville to go to school, and got beaten up. And I came here because I was scared. If you don't believe me, well then I guess I'll go. Hope you like the tacos. She went to the door and stopped, confused. There wasn't a doorknob. Behind her, Shane said quietly, the reason I think this is a vampire room, you can't get out. Unless it's the secret. Unless you know the secret. That's real convenient if you like to bring victims up here for a little munch session. She whirled around, expecting to see him standing there with that huge knife he'd used on the onions. And she'd broken the first rule of horror movies, hadn't she? Or was it the second one? She trusted someone she shouldn't have. But he was still sitting on the couch, slumped at ease, arms flung over the back on both sides, not even looking at her. Let me out, she said. Her heart was hammering. In a minute. First you'd tell him the truth. I have. At her fury and humiliation, she started to cry again. Damn it. You think I'm trying to hurt you? Hurt Michael? How could I? I'm the one who everybody hurts. He looked at her. Then she saw the hardness melt away. His voice was a lot gentler when he spoke. And if I was somebody who wanted to kill Michael, I'd put somebody like you in to do it. Be real easy for you to just kill somebody, Claire. Poison some food, slip a knife in his back, and I have to look out for Michael. I thought he looked out for you. She swiped angrily at her eyes. Why do you think somebody wants to kill him? Shane raised his eyebrows. Always somebody wanted to kill a vampire. But he's not, Eve said. Yeah, I know he's not a vampire. But he doesn't get up during the day. He doesn't go out of the house, and I can't get him to tell me what happened. So he might as well be. And somebody going to think so. Sooner or later, most people in Morganville are either protected or clueless. Kind of like you can raise rabbits of either pets or meat. But some of them fight back. She blinked the last brief storm of tears away. Like you? He cocked his head to one side. Maybe. How about you? You're a fighter, Claire? I'm not working for anybody, and I wouldn't kill Michael even if he was a vampire. Shane laughed. Why not? Besides the fuck. Shane laughed. Why not? Because the fact that he'd snap you in two like a twig if he was? Because she couldn't put words exactly. Because I like him. Shane watched her for another few long seconds, and then pressed a raised spot on the head of her lion-carving armrest of the couch. The door clicked and popped open half an inch. Good enough for me, he said. So, dessert?